No, we don't.
In this story, undercover agent Rachel Stone, who works for a covert intelligence service, must contend with formidable obstacles in order to safeguard a superweapon. The setting, which includes numerous foreign locations, crisp visuals, and elaborately planned action sequences, is fairly expansive, but the outcome is still rather underwhelming. Although Heart of Stone may surely be given a watch for its action moments, it is mostly the story and the lack of depth in the character motivations that keep us wanting more. What is the film about? An MI6 operation begins Heart of Stone in the cold settings of the Italian Alpine Arena Senales. A fresh MI6 agent named Rachel Stone, who is an outstanding hacker but has no significant field experience, is at the center of this operation. A small group of 3 additional agents, including Bailey the getaway driver, Parker and Yang the field experts, are with her. The plan is to apprehend Europe's most wanted arms dealer, a man named Mulvaney, who rarely makes any public appearance and is here at the resort to attend a secret gambling party. But before Parker and Yang can get inside the party, their faces need to be added to the list of invitees. For this, Stone is appointed to hack into the framework, but the mission changes course as the system goes offline. Stone now has to step into the hotel and physically hack into the network before adding Parker and Yang's identities to the list. Soon, the expert agents walk into the gambling party, realizing that Mulvaney and his associates are betting on live US military operations, and approach their target. But the mission goes haywire once more as Yang gets found out, and Parker has to handle Mulvaney by himself aboard the cable car. It is now that Agent Rachel Stone's real identity is revealed, for she is actually an intelligence operative working for a secretive agency called the Charter and is only undercover at MI6 at the moment. An expert agent in every aspect, Stone clears the path for her MI6 colleagues to successfully capture Mulvaney, but the mission ultimately fails when Mulvaney seems to kill himself with poison. Along with all this, a mysterious woman also hacks into MI6 communications and directly threatens that more chaos is to follow soon.
I should have listened to the voices in my head.
Who is the Charter and what is the Heart? Who this mysterious group is and what their goals are become vital when Rachel Stone's role as an agent for the Charter is made clear to us. However, Stone's MI6 co-workers are still unaware of who she is, and Bailey talks about his skepticism that the Charter was once again involved in this operation, after taking part in a few other missions as well. He described the Charter as a collection of former intelligence officers from all over the world who have no political preferences and no particular affection for any countries, including their own. These agents apparently act on their own accord and carry out whatever operation they are involved in with precise efficiency. Bailey claims that it is for these reasons that the Charter is the most efficient organization on the planet that is still able to maintain secrecy about its existence. In fact, the other members of this small MI6 team even question Bailey's belief, suggesting that there is nothing called the Charter and it is all only Bailey's conspiracy theory. But as the plot in Heart of Stone progresses, it gets clear that the Charter is indeed a secretive organization that has no political or national allegiance at all. Instead, the group commits itself to global peacekeeping and is ready to do almost anything to ensure the world's safety. Since they work above and beyond any government's orders, there is no place for political diplomacy among their ranks, and it is, therefore, necessary for them to keep their identities hidden at all times. Our protagonist, Rachel Stone, is an agent codenamed Nine of Hearts, and she works closely with a team that is headed by a man referred to as Jack of Hearts. At the head of this Hearts team is a woman named Nomad, also appropriately codenamed King of Hearts. The Charter thus has 4 separate teams named after each of the 4 suits of a deck of cards, and the kings of the individual teams only meet at moments considered emergencies. This happens in the middle of the film, when Stone's identity has been compromised and there is a new threat looming large. The Charter's ownership of a superweapon known as the Heart makes it much more mysterious than its concealed identities do. It is made apparent from the first glances of this weapon that it is not intended for destruction, but rather for gathering intelligence in the moment where Stone first contacts her Heart's team. The Heart soon turns out to be a highly effective supercomputer that is capable of breaking into any software-based system, from mobile phones to highly protected bank vaults and government data. But the hacking ability is only part of the Heart's exceptional qualities, for it can then compute a series of possibilities in any given situation or event, and then provide the best way to tackle the situation. In essence, the Heart can really predict the future in a certain sense, as it states the chance of success and failure involved in each of the possibilities in a situation. It is with the power of the Heart, which is being fed to her via comms, that Rachel Stone is able to take the shortest route down a mountain or a street, take the safest bets during operations, know exactly who she will be facing in fights, and come out successful through it all. The Heart really does not have any real-world basis and is only part of Heart of Stone's fictional world, but it is a rather important element in the film, as the whole fight is over this supercomputer's control. Who is the real double agent on the MI6 team? The apparently emotionless efficiency with which the charter carries out its operations also comes into play as Rachel Stone refuses the team's orders at one point. The charter wants each of their operatives to be completely emotionless, with no human bonds whatsoever, since having such ties obviously gives rise to biases. Thus, when Stone starts to become friendly with her temporary colleagues at MI6, she is warned against doing so by Nomad. But the woman is unable to keep herself distant from her colleagues, as the likes of Bailey keep sharing about his personal life. To Stone, her colleagues at MI6 are more than just expendable characters she needs for her operations, and she sees them as humans, unlike Nomad or the rest of the charter team. There is also a hint of romantic interest from Parker's side initially that Stone has to brush aside. Stone is hesitant to just abandon these MI6 agents in the hands of death during their mission in Lisbon because their lives are at stake. A bunch of men who arrive looking for anything attack the team's hideout while they are getting ready for this mission. Through her connections with the charter team, Stone activates the Heart's abilities, and she even learns the location's closest and safest exit. Stone chooses to defy her superior's directives and return to the hiding place in order to save Parker, Yang, and Bailey. Later on in the film, it is also revealed that Stone had found it very difficult to fit in with schools and teams from a very young age, as she would always get into some trouble. Perhaps it was in this team that she had finally found some support and comfort, and hence she was ready to do anything in order to save them. Stone succeeds in this plan as well, but then a shocking twist is revealed to her and us audiences. As it turns out, Parker was actually a double agent who had been working at MI6 for multiple years, only for his own personal motives. By this time, Stone is aware that the young woman who hacked into their communications during the mission in Italy is 22-year-old Kaya Dhawan, an Indian expert hacker. Parker is now revealed to be working with Dhawan, as the two intend on finding out the secret location of the Heart and stealing it. Mulvaney, the arms dealer, had obtained crucial information about the Heart, which is why Dhawan and Parker were both present at the Italian resort. Parker extracted all of the man's knowledge about the supercomputer before poisoning him to prevent the MI6 team from learning more. Because he and Dhawan had learned that the charter had sent one of its spies to the British intelligence agency, Parker had also been working with MI6 to determine who on the team was a charter agent. Now that Parker finally finds out about Stone, he leaves the woman dying with poison and also inserts into her body a chip that would help him and Dhawan hack into the charter's systems. Very much according to his plan, Stone is found by the authorities and taken back to the Heart team's headquarters, and the chip inside her lets Dhawan remotely hack into the charter network. It is because of this hack that Dhawan and Parker are then able to steal the Heart, which is actually kept aboard a high-flying aircraft, and also cause more trouble for the charter team. What was Parker and Dhawan's motives behind stealing the Heart? Parker and Dhawan had been collaborating on their scheme to find the Heart and steal it from the charter, but their goals and motivations were very different. Parker had actually served as an operative for MI6 in the past and had traveled to Chechnya on a covert mission. At the time, a Chechen warlord had sparked an uprising and killed countless people, while the MI6 had been arming rebel factions battling this warlord. Parker had been assigned to this task in order to deliver the weapons, but it turned out that the warlord's soldiers had set up a trap for him. As soon as it was reported that every member of the MI6 team had been executed, the authorities gave orders to bomb the entire place. However, Parker had managed to survive the ambush attack, but he was shocked to find out that MI6, the organization for whom he had done so much, did not even bother checking on whether he or the rest of the team were alive before they bombed the place. Therefore, ever since then, Parker has turned vengeful against MI6 and the Charter organization, and he wants to kill every agent working for them. On the other hand, Kaya Dawin was an 8-year-old orphan who was an Indian girl residing in Pune. During this time, Niam Karch, a pharmaceutical billionaire, ran enterprises in India and coordinated programs for impoverished kids. Dawin learned hacking using such a program, after which he was placed in Karch's personal care. Although the Heart had been able to learn a lot about Karch, Dawin had recently reportedly broken up with her, and the reason why this breakup had occurred remained a mystery. It is only later that her real intention is revealed, as Dawin states that her parents had actually been tortured and killed by Karch as part of his pharmaceutical experiments. Dawin had realized this at that very young age, and she wanted to avenge her parents' deaths someday, because of which she let Karch believe that she was indebted to him for her life. What happens to Stone, Dawin, and Parker? At the conclusion of Heart of Stone, Parker naturally becomes the main adversary, but Kaya Dawin learns from her error and saves the day. Dawin had teamed up with Parker merely to gain access to the Heart. She had no real desire to kill anyone. She had even questioned her partner's choice to murder Yang and Bailey, as it had not been in their plan. Dawin never exhibits the cold fury that motivates Parker, and she finally chooses to support Stone after understanding Parker's diabolical scheme to assassinate everyone connected to the Charter. Although some of the Charter teams and their leaders are killed by Parker with the help of the Heart, Dawin manages to stop the supercomputer, create a distraction, and also led Stone to the secret base they had been using. Dawin and Stone then work together to kill Parker and save the rest of the Charter team. After a month has gone since this occurrence, Rachel Stone is spotted going to Bailey's niece's house, for whom he had purchased a playhouse. Stone now sends this gift to the niece for Bailey because he was killed, demonstrating that she still has human emotions. She next makes a stop at Kaya Dawin's residence, where the Charter has been housing her. Stone says that she has resumed working with the Charter, but only after receiving assurances from them that the Heart will be relied upon less and should only be viewed as a tool to aid in operations rather than as a decision maker.